So here's a startling thought. Nearly 40% of senior sales hires actually fail within the first 18 months.
Wow.
Yeah, think about that. The cost, the disruption, it's massive.
It really is. Lost momentum, team morale.
Exactly. So in this deep dive, we're tackling something critical to fixing that. Managing expectations and communication when you're recruiting those senior sales leaders.
It's often overlooked, isn't it? That's so fundamental.
Definitely. We're pulling insights from how to manage expectations and communication in senior recruitment by the sales experts.
A great resource. They really know their stuff in this area.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
And our mission today, pretty simple. Give you actionable ways to land those top-tier sales leaders who can genuinely drive, real sales success.
Yeah, because it's amazing how companies invest so much in finding talent, but then the recruitment process itself kind of trips them up.
Right.
The sales experts really highlight that being proactive about expectations and communication isn't just like a nice to have. It's absolutely essential for sales success with these key hires.
Okay, so let's unpack that first big piece. The sales experts really hammer home the absolute need for crystal clear expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not just talking a job title here. It's got to be a detailed picture, right? The role, responsibilities, the specific skills needed for this sales leadership job.
Precisely. Vague expectations. It's like casting a super wide net. You might catch something, but is it the right fit? Probably not.
Good analogy.
Yeah. So if you clearly spell out the KPIs, the strategic goals for year one, the challenges they'll face, well, you attract candidates who are actually ready for that.
Makes sense.
And just as importantly, they can self-assess if it's right for them. That upfront clarity. It's a magnet for the best sales leaders who want defined goals and a clear path to driving sales success.
Okay, moving on to something. The sales experts stress just as much. Establishing open and really transparent communication.
Oh, yes. This is huge.
It's not just, sending out those automated, we got your application emails. It's about a real dialogue.
Exactly. Think prompt responses, actually sharing information proactively, treating senior candidates like the experienced professionals they are.
You've got to.
And, the psychology here is fascinating. Imagine you're a top sales leader. You've got options.
Right.
Silence from a company. It just creates uncertainty. They might easily take another offer where they feel more informed, more valued.
Yeah, you lose them quickly.
So, outlining the timeline, the interview stages, even the decision criteria, that's not just politeness. It shows you're organized, professional. It builds trust.
Mm-hmm.
And the sales experts point out that positive experience, even if they don't get the job, strengthens your employer brand in the sales world, makes the next search for sales success easier.
Absolutely. Which flows perfectly into the next insight from the sales experts.
Yeah.
Actively managing the whole candidate experience
Yep.
and involving your internal stakeholders.
Yeah, this is key. It's not just about the interviews themselves.
No, it's the whole process, from application to feedback, making it smooth, efficient, respectful.
Right, and bringing in those key people internally, other leaders, maybe team members, they'll manage to get everyone aligned on what you need in this sales role.
Why is that stakeholder part so crucial, you think?
Well, how often do you see hiring happen in a silo?
Too often.
The sales experts really push for collaboration, get stakeholders involved early. You get different perspectives on the candidate, sure, but crucially, you get buy-in.
Yeah, the buy-in.
Yeah. Everyone understands the mandate for this new sales leader. That alignment makes onboarding smoother and sets them up for actual sales success much faster. Less friction later on.
Makes total sense. Avoids those, well, I thought they were hired to do X conversations.
Exactly that. And finally, the sales experts mention something that sounds simple, but often gets missed.
What's that?
Setting and communicating realistic timelines for the whole senior sales recruitment process.
Oh, yeah. Time is definitely money in sales recruitment, isn't it?
Yeah.
For both sides.
Absolutely. These top leaders, they're likely looking at multiple opportunities. If your process drags on or it's unclear, it signals maybe disorganization, lack of decisiveness.
Not a good look.
Not at all. You could lose great talent just because of that. So setting clear expectations about how long each stage takes. It shows respect for their time and, frankly, increases your chances of closing the deal, getting that hire who will drive sales success.
Okay, so let's recap those key takeaways from the sales experts for better senior sales hiring and ultimately sales success. First.
Define that role and the expectations meticulously. Be super clear.
Second.
Prioritize open, honest, two-way communication all the way through.
And third.
Focus on a great candidate experience and make sure your internal stakeholders are aligned. Get that buy-in.
Right. These aren't just like HR checklist items, are they?
Not at all. They're strategic. If you want a high-performing sales org, you have to get these foundational pieces right. It's how you attract and keep the leaders who will fuel growth and deliver that sales success.
So for everyone listening,
Mm.
maybe take a second to think about your own process for senior sales hires. Where could you sharpen things up? Is it defining the role better, improving communication, making that candidate experience smoother?
Maybe it's just reviewing your last senior sales job description or
Yeah.
mapping out how you communicate with candidates. Small steps can make a big difference.
Definitely. Which leads to a final thought to chew on.
Okay.
The quality of your sales leadership directly shapes your revenue growth, right?
Without a doubt.
So, are you really doing everything possible in your recruitment process to attract and secure the absolute best talent who can drive outstanding sales success?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, drawing on those great insights from the sales experts, all focused on achieving greater sales success through smarter recruitment.